The federal government has drawn $1.5 billion from a $5 billion financing facility arranged with the First Abu Dhabi Bank, that's FAB, of the United Arab Emirates. The funds represent the first tranche of a financing arrangement approved by the National Assembly in March 2026 and are expected to support the implementation of the 2026 national budget, finance infrastructure projects, and refinance existing debts. Akai News gathered that the transaction comes despite concerns expressed by the International Monetary Fund and Fitch Ratings, both of which cautioned that the financing structure, a total return swap, could reduce transparency and create hidden financial obligations that may become difficult to monitor over time. Akai News learned that under the arrangement, Nigeria must provide federal government securities valued at about 133% of the amount borrowed as collateral. This means that if the full $5 billion facility is eventually utilized, approximately 6.65 to $6.67 billion worth of naira denominated government bonds will be pledged to secure the financing. That is bad. What exactly has changed following this report? Nigeria has not merely obtained another foreign loan, it has embraced a more sophisticated financing structure at a time when access to conventional international borrowing has become increasingly expensive. The government argues that this approach provides faster access to foreign exchange, supports infrastructure development, and reduces pressure on the economy. Those objectives are understandable. Nigeria faces enormous funding needs for roads, power projects, healthcare, education, and budget implementation. However, the concern raised by the IMF and Fitch cannot simply be ignored. Their warnings is not necessarily about borrowing itself, but about the complexity and transparency of the financing arrangement. When public debt becomes difficult to understand, investors, oversight institutions, and even citizens may struggle to determine the country's true financial exposure. Another important issue is the sustainability issue. Borrowing can stimulate economic growth if invested in productive sectors that can generate future revenue. But borrowing mainly to finance recurring expenditure or repay previous debts risks creating a cycle where today's loans becomes tomorrow's financial burdens. Ultimately, the success or failure of this facility will depend on one critical question. And what is that question? Will the borrowed funds generate measurable economic value that exceeds the long-term cost of repayment? That is the question in the hearts of Nigerians. 5 things every Nigerian should know concerning this report. Number 1, Nigeria has drawn the first $1.5 billion out of the $5 billion. Number 2, the loan uses a total return swap structure. Unlike conventional sovereign borrowing, the arrangement is backed by government securities pledged as collateral. That is serious. Number three, the IMF has expressed deep concerns and has warned Nigerians against the borrowing terms. Fitch Ratings also raised serious concern concerning the borrowing. Number five, government pledge plans to use the funds for multiple purposes. Okay. Yes, pay attention as I read these set reflective questions for your perusal. Number one, can Nigeria continue relying on borrowing without significantly expanding domestic revenue generation? That's question one. Question two, will the projects financed by this loan produce enough economic returns to justify the borrowing? That's question two. Question three, should complex financial transactions involving public debt receive greater parliamentary and public scrutiny? Number four, how transparent should government be when entering sophisticated financing agreement? Number five, are Nigerians seeing sufficient value from previous external borrowing? Number six, what long-term strategy exists to reduce dependence on foreign loans every time? Following this report, Akai News recommends the following. Number one, the federal government should publish detailed information on how every dollar from the facility will be utilized for the benefit of all Nigerians. Number two, the National Assembly should strengthen oversight throughout the implementation of the financing arrangement. And number three, independent audits should periodically assess the economic impact of projects funded by the facility. Number four, government should accelerate reforms aimed at increasing non-oil revenue and reducing borrowing dependency. Number five, public debt management should remain transparent with timely disclosure of all financial obligations. Number six, future borrowing should prioritize projects capable of generating sustainable economic returns and employment. Thank you for joining me. I am Joseph Iyaji.